Hey, haven't you been wanting to start a podcast?
Yeah, but doesn't it take a lot to make one?
Well, let me tell you about Anchor. It's free, and it's the easiest way to make a podcast. On top of that, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Oh, that sounds amazing. But doesn't it take a lot of work to put my podcast on different platforms?
Actually, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
That sounds fantastic.
On top of that, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So where do I get started?
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. And welcome back to another episode of the Convoluted podcast. It's your host, Liz, and I'm here with Tyrant Dominus, aka Jesus.
Hey.
And if it's your first time listening, we hope you follow or subscribe. It's free, and you can always unfollow or unsubscribe. So let's get into the episode. How you doing, Jesus?
Not too bad. Tiring, but not too bad. How about yourself?
Doing okay. We had hired somebody, didn't show up to work, and now we're back to square one.
Oh, you hired someone and then they didn't show up to work. Okay, I thought you hired someone. Yeah. I'm like, they didn't show up.
Yeah, I had to kind of leave that, excitement and then to die.
What's up with people? The hiring system right now?
I think supposedly she got a better job offer. I'm like, really? Okay, from the current workplace. Okay, whatever. Considering that shift that we're hiring her for was supposed to have we're supposed to get an influx, like an extra pay increase. Mm-hmm. Besides the incentive pay, we're getting another incentive pay on top of it for that shift. So we're looking at a couple more extra bucks on that. I don't know how much, but they're trying to increase, and then of course we're having a drastic change to our how we do things in that department. So I'm excited, but it'd be nice to have an extra body coming in and doing the shifts that not all of us want to do every day.
I'd rather have another person than get a bonus. Give me people. I want to have time off.
Well, yeah, that too, but we're.
So here's the question. Would you rather have them hire like one or two people or get the pay raise?
Pay raise.
Okay. Then don't complain.
Well,
choose. I told you to choose.
I can't choose. Okay. This is not my doing. It's the corporate doing. I'm not doing anything with this, okay? So this is corporate's doing. But the incentive is there. I wish people see that it's happening. I don't know. But what is annoying is that we don't have bodies to supply, and so I'm consistently working in one department, and I can't flip over to the other side to do that department if I'm working already on the other side. So a lot of our Fridays are going without bodies, and of course it's hurting the pharmacy later on down the road.
Sounds like everywhere in the entire United States. There's no place for no one.
Exactly.
That's how we're at our place too. We have no one for nowhere. I recently found out that we are now down to half staff in the entire building. So
damn.
So and there's no one applying. So you can't even fill it. So I'm like, okay, you know what? You can't fill it. You can't fill it. And you know what? I'm not gonna complain. So not my fault.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I am also what I am also excited about is that Ursula got her first jab.
Her first job? What's
jab?
Jab. Oh, jab. Oh man, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get my daughter into work now. It's getting bad out there.
That would be nice. That would be nice though. I'm just saying.
Oh, but she got the jab. That's nice.
Yeah,
Because it's been a topic that we've been discussing in the background for a while, mostly since it's still up in the air and stuff. So what was her like experience getting the first jab?
The arm hurt, the arm sore. I'm like, okay, I got it. It does hurt. I mean, I got my booster and I felt, and I was like, oh God, it hurts. Why?
But yeah, one down, one to go, and then she'll be good to go. That's good.
I know, I'm excited. And of course, we're taking a trip for my sister's bachelorette party in February, and of course, some of those places that we are going to in New Orleans is they require you to show your identification that you got the jab. I'm like, sweet.
It is one of the things now that like it's becoming like you're gonna need this stuff. My sister at the moment, as the time of this recording, is currently in New York, and she can't really do as much as she wanted to.
We've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, I said like, okay, well, deal with it. You know, she's had like over like I think like 2 months to that they've been planning the surprise for their friend. Like it was a mix of, oh, you got to go to New York, and on top of that, surprise one of your friends. That's cool. And then I think it was like a month ago is when the whole New York incidents have been happening a little bit more and more. And so now she's in New York, but she can't really do much.
Sucker. I mean, I was just at a happy hour. I got together with a friend, and she brought over a friend, and we met at a gluten-free brewery up in Portland. And they said if you want to sit inside, you had to show your identification that you had it.
Yeah, at this point.
Nice. And it's chilly and cold and rainy outside. I'm not going to sit my ass outside. Sorry.
Exactly. I think it's going to become more prevalent that private businesses are going to require this. I'm going to be wondering how some places are going to take it and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how businesses are going to be doing because there are some places that are going crazy. Like that one story we talked about of the person who was yelling at customers to not wear masks in their businesses, which was okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, just, anything else has been happening recently?
Oh, we got a new couch yesterday morning, so I'm excited about that. Yeah. That's been nice. But we had taken everything out of storage because our whole building's getting resided. Apparently, our building won't be resided for another month. I'm like, oh, good. And we're not keeping. My mom's like, we're gonna put the shit back in the storage until they tell us we have to get it out. I'm like, okay, fine by me. So, yeah, nothing too exciting.
Okay, but
what up? And you?
Nope. So, everyone listening.
It's approaching. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just kidding.
What?
The holidays approaching. I mean, it's only a couple of weeks to Thanksgiving.
I don't care about that. That's just normie stuff. Like, that's irrelevant. Like, there's other things happening in the world that are much more important.
Yeah.
So yeah. So for everyone listening, look forward. This is episode 99. We are working. Yeah, we are working on trying to come up with a fun episode 100. So look forward to that. And if you want, actually, there is one thing. If you guys want to be a part of episode 100, down below you can always. There's always the option. You can leave us a voice message or a voicemail, whatever you want to call it, and you can either ask us a question, leave us a comment, and we'll answer it on live, basically.
Hell yeah!
So yeah,
it's in person too. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So yes.
So look forward to that. We'll see what fun content we'll have for you guys. But that's until episode 100. Let's get into episode 99. So let's get into some of the news.
Before we get really into it, why don't we talk about our merch?
Go for it.
Let's go to merch.tyrant.dominus.com. It is a great place to buy and support us, and we definitely are supporting you and getting you something nice. We are definitely got our mug that we still like to have a pint with us or carry and tote us around, the sweatshirts, and we definitely worked on some holiday gear. And of course, we're losing some of our seasons at the end of this year. So definitely get our gear and support us and rep us. Whoop, whoop.
There you go. Yeah, don't forget, guys, go check out merch.tyrantdominus.com to get all your podcasting gear or wearing gear. Represent, because like Liz says, we're going to be removing a lot of it at the end of the year. So it's all limited for sure. So,
Yes.
And don't forget to get 10% off using Pod 10. Pod 10.
Yes.
So let's get into some of these. So we'll start with the story that happened in our state, actually. So apparently,
there's so many things going on in our state.
well, the one I have is from a Eugene store owner attacked while enforcing the mask mandate, police says. So the owner of okay, ready? This is the interesting part. Ready? The owner of a Eugene cookie store was assaulted while trying to enforce the mask mandate on Wednesday, police says. It happened around 11 a.m. at Crumb Together on Oak Street when a man and woman walked into the business and refused to wear a mask, police said. Police said that Rick Collins, 34, and Amy Hall, 45, both of the Portland area, were arrested and taken to the Lane County Jail after the altercation. Meanwhile, the owner of the business was taken to the hospital. Holy shit, I didn't fully read this thing. Hospital for treatment of her cuts and bruises. I'm going to stop there for a moment. That should not happen at a cookie store over masks.
It shouldn't.
Going to the hospital because of that at a cookie store, that is stupid as hell. Okay.
God, that guy looks familiar. Look at him. I don't know if I know that guy, but he looks familiar, like I've seen him somewhere.
So,
or maybe someone very similar looking to him.
So let's continue with the story. Let's see here.
Oh, what happened? A stupid
Let's
story.
see here. Let's see here. It begins in its let me see here. Oop, why did I close the...
I don't know. I'll finish it out. Begins with the man walking toward Crumb Together, saying he heard reports of the owner chasing customers out of the store with a baseball bat. Okay. I can see why. Video shows the two going into the cookie store, and the owners are saying they can't be in there because they don't have a mask on. That's when the man says the business has to serve the public, and the owner repeatedly asks them to leave. Okay, hold up. Now I'm going to time out on this one. It's like, you go into a store and you have no shoes on, no shirt.
The classic. The classic
stuff. But this is now we're adding that step on about the mask. Well...
Wait, okay. I got the story up again. So the video shows the two going into the things. Heard some saying they can't be in there because they do not have masks on. That's when the man says the business has to serve the public and the owner respectively.
You can see the owner of the Come Together trying to point them to the door. The woman shoves the owner, who goes down. Goes behind the counter and grabs a baseball bat, but the man and woman again refuse to leave. In the video, you can see the woman grab the bat, starting a physical fight between the three. Oh my gosh. This is like a Jerry Springer episode going on.
Damn. Okay, so it was the owners are the ones that brought the weapon, basically the weapon.
Yeah, and I can understand.
Okay. It's starting to clear out, but still.
But of course, it started with the shoving. If she wasn't shoved, she probably wouldn't have brought the bat out, right?
That is true. There is always that thing like you can tell people, you can hey, please leave the store as much as you can or whatever. Leave the business, leave the property, until the point where it becomes physical, and that's when. So yeah, that's what we're saying. But,
a lot of these business owners nowadays have to have some sort of protection now. And of course, because, damages, break-ins, et cetera, even though we have cameras and all that shit, it doesn't always stop that. And I see that they're just upping up the ante. Yeah, they're doing something that's not as lethal. It still is lethal weapon, but it's not as lethal weapon as a gun, so.
Overall, it's still, yeah. It is one of those things. We don't have to keep reading. For the most part, we get the gist of it. Where something like this happens, it's just crazy. You know, people just need to calm down. Like if a business says, "Hey, leave the store," depending on what the reason is, because there have been issues that we've talked about outside the mask. But it's like you said, it's your classic. Now it's gonna be your classic: no shoes, no shirt, no masks, no service.
Exactly.
I think that's where we're gonna be moving forward. But let's go into some of the other stories. What seems
Well, it's kind of have a storyline. I didn't post this because it was somebody on my Facebook feed. One of our former coworkers was stopping somebody for stealing alcohol. They pointed a gun at her face.
goddamn just pointed a gun at their face?
Yes, because she told her she couldn't stop her for doing that. Well, she stopped her for, walking out of the store with alcohol in her cart.
And then they just walked out with
Nope. She was arrested. The person who pointed that gun was arrested. But yeah, that is some terrifying shit. That's all I gotta say.
Wait, I thought the person who pointed the gun did not get away.
No, got arrested. But the person,
what?
Our former employee was very shocked and scared of that.
Yeah, that's
he didn't realize that what's in the cart was a gun freaking sitting there. Like,
yeah.
Ooh.
I'm surprised the cops got there fast enough for that. Or did the
There's not a lot
criminal...
of details into the posting, but it's frazzled.
Okay.
I would be frazzled too.
No, that's understandable. Like, at this point, I've always mentioned in any situation where if someone was coming and has a deadly weapon, I'm like, you know what? Take it. Take whatever you want. It's not worth my life. Like, what?
Exactly.
Like, what? You want a cash register? Take it. I don't care. You know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna risk my life over anything. Like.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's not worth it.
Exactly. That's actually a good segue to putting your life on the line with let's see here. So apparently a missing teen was rescued after making a hand gesture she learned from TikTok to signal for help.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I thought it was pretty cool.
So A missing teenager from North Carolina was rescued by Kentucky police after she was signaled for help by using a hand gesture known on TikTok to represent violence at home, according to the police. The 16-year-old from Asheville, North Carolina, was reported missing by her parents on Tuesday, according to the Sheriff's Department in Kentucky. On Thursday, the motorist in Kentucky called 911 to report seeing a girl in distress in a vehicle on the interstate. The complaint was behind the vehicle and I know
Complaint? Oh my god, I know the word. I just can't seem to say it today.
Complain. What the heck?
Trying it? No, I know how to say it. I just can't do it right now.
I know, right? I'm just gonna enunciate. That is how reading works. Complain and what?
Oh my god, I know this one. I know.
Screw it. I'm just skipping it. The girl was behind the vehicle and noticed the vehicle and noticed a female passenger in the vehicle is making hand gestures that are known as on social media platform TikTok to represent violence at home. I need help. Domestic violence reads the statement posted on Friday by Lorraine. Yeah, whatever. So we'll get into the hand gesture in a second. So, did you know this was a hand gesture?
I saw it at one time. I just didn't know how much of it actually took off, and I guess TikTok has really brought it up forward. Actually, the video that they have in there is something I've seen before on YouTube. I never thought it would actually get this far, but that's great. That's awesome.
Would you have noticed something like this, or just like some random kid just playing on the road, in your opinion?
take notice. I try to be very observant as much as I can because I'm part deaf as it is. So, but if I know that someone is in distress like that, and I know the symbol, I would probably oblige
So
to call in and do my part as a civilian to do helping somebody else.
Okay, let's continue then. The hand gesture is a one-handed sign someone can use when in distress. According to the Canadian Women Foundation, someone using the signal holds their hand up with their palm facing out, then tucks their thumb into their hand, and then closes their fingers to trap the thumb. So, for anyone listening, we're going to read that again. So, the person holds the palm of their hand facing out. So, like you're saying, stop, tucks their thumb into their hand. So, put your thumb into your hand.
Looks like a 4. Almost.
Looks like a 4, basically like a 4. And then you close your kind of like into a fist. And you do that motion. So, like stop, 4, fist. Stop, 4, fist. I think that's the best way to explain it verbally over a podcast, right?
Yes.
So yeah, if you see that hand gesture, and I hope people don't abuse that.
I hope so too.
Because yes, it is a very now that I know it, I can keep an eye, because normally I would have said, "What's that person doing?" Whatever. I just ignore it. I'll be honest. But it is a very useful technique, for sure for people to know, just in general, if you're ever in a scenario like this. Let's continue then. Police told CNN affiliate, the teen learned the hand gesture on TikTok. The person called 911 stayed behind the vehicle for 7 miles, relaying the information to the police. Police were able to pull over the car and rescue the teen. The suspects originally took the teen from North Carolina to Ohio, where he has relatives. Police said they left Ohio once the relatives found out that the teen was a minor and reported missing, according to the police. We do not know how long coming down the interstate from Ohio that she has been doing this to other motorists, hoping that they would notice that she was in distress. But finally, someone did recognize. Police arrested the man. Okay, so yeah, it's one of those things is that you just keep doing it until someone out there knows what you're doing. Because like you said, if it's like something like me who didn't know about this earlier, just saw it okay, just ignore it.
I actually had another story like that earlier this week, or maybe was it last week, and it was a similar concept, but she wasn't how old of her, the teenager. She was like probably about 10 or 11. And she did the same thing, but she was on the street and she was able to catch somebody's attention. Like the guy just thought she was just, stretching her hands or doing something. So she was doing it to cameras too. So she was trying to get their attention. So it's like, I like that there's this distress symbol without having, somebody who is in an abusive situation, being abducted. I think this is a great opportunity. I mean, we're not going to always have. I know at one point there was pens, if you do it on your palm, to do that, a dot on the palm to say you're in distress, but it's not always possible. Simple hand gesture. That's great.
So how long have you been now have you been on TikTok?
Not that long.
So
a couple months now.
Okay. So what has your experience been on there now?
A little mix of everything. I've been having some more fun with a lot of the videos. There's a couple of people I like to follow because I love their stories. And there's others, drinking. Obviously, there's a guy who mixes all these weird drinks and takes them in front of us, and I think that's pretty funny. I haven't really, but most of it, it's, I haven't seen a lot of other things. I think I'm still trying to figure out who I am on TikTok.
The algorithm, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm still seeing things and random things, and not a whole lot, though. I think I've seen that video of some sort on there, TikTok, or I don't know how I inadvertently saw that. But I do remember seeing that video of some sort.
You were able to. I still have not seen that on TikTok. It is one of those things that at least that social media, it's...
Maybe I saw it on Facebook, and maybe that's why I saw it.
I think so, because
the sample video they did shows from Canada kind of showed the distress of somebody who was in an abusive relationship and trying to signal through a FaceTime, they're in trouble.
Okay. So let's get into another story. This is one you posted, the one with the the pedophile. Like, I'll let you read this one because it's just so baffling sometimes how people are willing to. I'll let you read this one.
This one was funny because as we like to make fun of dumb people, right?
Dumb people, they just stupid people.
Stupid people. This is by The Weird Facts. I actually like this article and the weird blips that they post on Facebook, so I follow them. So the article is a pedophile walks 351 miles to have sex with a 14-year-old girl who turned out to be an undercover cop. Talks about being catfished.
Yeah, 350 miles. You can't. There's almost nothing out there in this world that will get me to walk 50 feet, 50 miles, 10 miles. Like, just at the moment, what is something that you would walk 100, let's just say 100 miles for, besides your child?
Fast food?
I don't know. At that point, like, not the necessities, like something materialistic or something.
Yeah, I'm not a materialistic person. That's like the most.
Yeah, there's very, very few things outside of the necessities for living. There's almost nothing out there.
Unless I was like a Beast, Mr. Beast thing, and
no. Okay, you're right. Never mind. If there was a Mr. Beast video where I would have to walk to, like, Mr. Beast says, like, if you're gonna come here, you have to walk. And like, you know what, right, Mr. Beast, I will do that for you. I will walk from where I am right now to your compound to be in a video. I will walk there. I would not even hitchhike. No hitchhiking. Just the walk.
Exactly.
Just from Oregon to South Carolina. I think that's where he's based in
South Carolina. Oh, God.
Yeah. So how far is that? Actually, how far is that? Just give me. So Oregon to South Carolina.
I'm curious. Google map that.
Google map that right now. Oh shoot! So would you do that for a Mr. Beast video for a chance to win X amount of money for this video?
Possibly, yeah.
So just saying the Oregon to South Carolina, you're just walking an average of 2,600 miles.
For me, it's a little extra.
Oh, true.
I did the walking distance. It's 38 days.
Actually, that's not that
a month of our lives out on the street.
It sounds like a Mr. Beast video. I'm not gonna lie.
I know,
2,600 miles. That is way more than this guy walked for.
Yeah, 351.
Would I walk that for a Mr. Beast video? I would, actually. I would record it and do a
TikTok videos daily.
Daily video, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram stories, everything to get to there. People have done stuff. People have done things like that, but yeah, never mind. There are a few things people, but still, it's a lot. I would need to be sure that I would do it. But 2,600 miles. You know what? I'll send a direct message like, hey, Mr. Beast, I will. If I could be in one of yours, I would literally walk 2,600 miles to be at the compound. Like, no hitchhiking, no anything, just pure walking. Actually, how long was how many days was that?
Okay, for him?
No, just overall. Okay, how long
38 days from my end to South Carolina.
How many days?
38.
38 days. 38.
That's not even consistent. No. I just said South Carolina, the state, like the border of it, and we don't even know if he was.
Yeah, the thing is, that's 38 days straight. You have to be walking night and day, so it's like probably 2 months.
Maybe sleeping on the side of the street in a sleeping bag and call it good. And hopefully to God the weather is good.
Yeah, like right now, winter isn't the best time of year. Like probably like a late spring, early summer is the perfect time to do this.
Yeah.
But
do you want to hear the rest of this article?
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to the other, because it sounds like we're starting to become the idiots for a Mr. Beast video. But you know what? at least we would have.
Hey, we would have each other. We'd have entertainment.
But yeah, continue with the story.
The pedophile traveled 350 miles to have sex with a quote-unquote 14-year-old girl he met on the internet, only to be confronted by an undercover officer he had been grooming. According to the U.S. Attorney Office, convicted pedophile Tommy Lee Jenkins, 32, of Indiana. He doesn't look 32, by the way. He looks like an old dude.
Damn, being offensive, body shaming. All right. We know Liz is a body shamer. Continue.
Well, I can do this on this pedophile, okay?
True.
Began communicating with Kylie, a kid from Wisconsin, and began exchanging X-rated texts almost immediately. So this is going to be a three-stepper. 1, Jenkins had no idea he was setting himself up to be arrested by the sheriff's office or on the other end of the line. He shamelessly, in every way, he recommend they meet up for sex in addition to requesting Kylie for sexual graphic photos. He initially requested that she meet him in Whitetown, Ohio, but she refused, prompting him to hit the road and begin the long trip to Neenah, Wisconsin, where he assumed she resided. He also indicated in one of the chats that he planned to have 500 kids with the young girl, one of which he would be born within the year.
Oh my God, that's
2, he continued.
That statement alone is like impossible. Like biologically impossible.
Yeah,
Continue.
biologically impossible. He continued to have the message her during the walk. Throughout the 351-mile trip, he continued to send Kylie explicit texts and kept her updated on his progress. He was convinced that he was having a sexual experience with a teenager. 3, pedophiles like Jenkins, there's a zero-tolerance policy. The nation faces an epidemic of sexual child abuse, with the internet making it too easy for predators to communicate with children across the country, said U.S. Attorney Matthew Kruger in a statement. The Justice Department committed to working with the federal, state, and local law enforcement and agencies sex abuse progressively. He has also pled guilty to molesting 2 boys ages 7 and 8 in 2011. He was sentenced to 4 years of probation and suspended for a 360-day prison term at the time. Idiot.
Yeah.
Desperate.
Truly.
500 babies.
So actually, you know what's funny is I've recently started doing a fun 30-day experiment with an app.
Oh, really? Which app is that?
I will not mention it until the 30 days are up. I'll tell you off the record.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm testing a 30-day experiment on there for. If anyone's listening on there, you know what I'm talking about. And I'll give you guys a result on the next episode. Probably not on the 100th episode, but probably like the 101 episode. But it is one of those things where you have to really be careful with these types of apps. You know, you got your classic like Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, just these like simple stuff which everyone just DMs stuff. But it comes there's a bunch of other apps too, like the ones where you are dating apps, apps to make friends, and just there's just so much. And this is where it becomes really prevalent that people keep an eye on what people are using and who they're talking to. You've talked about this where you try to educate and monitor as much as you can with your daughter.
Yeah. Most of the time she's on with her friends, and I know who the friend, because the way they talk, I'm like, oh, that's just a friend, so-and-so. So I try as much as I can because, I think because I was, we were the AOL babies, getting on AOL. You have mail. In the chat rooms.
Do you remember talking to any random people back when you first got onto the internet? Because
Yes, I did. Yahoo chat rooms too. I mean, they were all over.
Yeah, I remember. Like, I don't remember specifics but I know I used to talk to random people. But I don't ever think it ever got this weird. Luckily.
Oh yeah.
Like, more power to this guy who like was able to walk to his jail sentence.
I know, right? I wish there were more commitment like that.
Exactly. Some
Ah,
people.
yeah.
Let's continue with the stupidity. Actually,
Okay, where are we going
so
next? There's a few
so
of them out there.
a biracial family was stopped by armed police at Denver airport after a Southwest staff wrongly suspected human trafficking.
I know, I saw that.
I'm like,
Damn.
what? All right, ready? A mother and her 10-year-old daughter were stopped by officials at Denver International Airport in October after an airline attendant reporting a possible human trafficking incident. Mary said that the suspect was based on a racist assumption as she was white and her daughter was biracial. That's it? Wait, that's the rest of the article? That's fucking stupid. Is that really the entire article?
You had to register, remember?
Fuck that. Like, god damn it.
I'll try it later. I'll see, maybe we can bring it up on my end.
Oh no, is it really that? Register to continue reading. Fuck that. I'll try it later. Oh, there we
but
go.
not gonna do it.
Nope. That's fine. Well, it kind of, that gives you the basis of what's happened. Yeah. So basically, just because the mother and daughter weren't the same colored skin for the most part, it's like, and it's like, it is one of those things where, okay, we understand. Like, it's, well, okay, that's good that they were able to stop a possible chance for human trafficking. But it is kind of crazy when you think that's, like, is that how they do it? Because I can see that's how people would do it, right? Like, yeah. What do you think when you think human trafficking? Like, how do you think it happens? Because I would not have...
the kids don't talk or anything of that nature, and because I kind of see it from that a lot of respects. I mean, as you know, I travel a lot with my daughter, and even though I'm her mom, and we have the same last name and all that, they still ask her name and everything, because they forefrontly want to know that it's her, And I get it. We're trying to be cautious. It's the way of the world right now. With all the sex rings have been broken up and children being abducted. It's understandable. But again, we can't take racial profiling, to considering
to the extreme.
The extreme of that maybe that, and I bet you 10 to 1 that daughter was acting like a normal kid, with her mom, like, love you, I hate you, it's normal.
It is one of those things you have to take the atmosphere or the mood that is being portrayed, right?
Yeah.
If it's this weird, like, submissive stuff, like, it can be, right? It can be like, that's a little suspicious. But if it's this normalized kind of thing, like, oh, okay, nothing really crazy there happening, right? Yeah, like, I understand what they're going for, but man, sometimes it can get a little overboard right there.
Yeah. I mean, she does look like, they do like mom and dad, mom and daughter. So, like, me, I wouldn't have guessed it one bit, because they look a lot alike, even though for being biracial. I don't know. That's just weird to me. It's like, the kid wasn't talking, wasn't speaking, not being a normal kid with this person next to him. That's when that'd be a red flag. Like, but I bet you 10 to 1 that mom was saying hi, love you, talking, having a normal conversation. Like, you and I would have a normal conversation. So between kids and parents, it's usually different, Like, I have the same conversation, everything. So it's just funny. I get it. I get it. I'm glad they're being proactive, but at the same time, I think that
you got to read the room. You got to read the room a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you choose the next story.
We want to go back to some crazy stuff? I don't know. There's so much.
Yeah. What's one of the ones that you had?
Let's see. Oh, damn. Oh, that one. Knife-wielding man wounds 17 inside Tokyo train.
I'm looking for it. Look, you can read it. You can start while I look for it.
Okay. Yeah. Knife-wielding man wounds 17 inside Tokyo train. A man carried out a knife attack inside a Tokyo train on Sunday night, then started firing it. 17 people were injured, including a man in his 70s who was stabbed and reported unconscious. The attacker was arrested. Police said that while riding on a train bound to Shinjuku Station,
Yes.
the attacker started assaulting passengers near Kokoryo.
Kokoryu.
Station in the western Tokyo city of Shofu. They said he used a cigarette lighter fluid to start a fire inside the train. Large flames rose briefly, burning some seats. The train made an emergency stop at Kokoryu Station, allowing passengers to evacuate to the platform. Police arrested Haratori Kota on suspicion of attempted murder. They say that the 24-year-old dropped his knife when they told him to do so. The investigators quote the man was saying he thought he could be able to fulfill his wish of receiving capital punishment if he killed at least 2 people. The suspect added that he was inspired by a knife attack in August inside a Daikyu line train in Tokyo. The assault left 10 passengers injured.
Ooh, wow, this is some crazy person who was inspired by another. It is crazy when, like, this guy was pretty young, like just 24.
Yeah.
And he decides to kind of replicate or get inspired by another knife attack. Like, how far does your life have to get when that's what inspires you to do something? Like,
Also, you have to think about it psychologically, what's going on with him.
True, but
Is he on the verge of a schizophrenic break, or he's just like in a mental psychosis, or I don't know. There's so many things that are going on.
That is true, because this is a different country. Different countries suffer from different things. Because I know the few things I do know about Japan, at least for their youth, is that they have a very different standard than we do in the States. The States alone have their own like mini little biomes of standards. But I know for sure it can be very stressful living in Japan for late teens or the young adults. We'll just say young adults. It is very hard for them as well, depending on where you live. But man, it's just crazy to think that some guy can, like, it happens everywhere. Like that can happen anywhere in America too. Man goes onto a well, comes, and it's probably happened, and it's probably didn't make the big mainstream media, and we just don't know about it. It's like, oh yeah, there's a big story we'll talk about, like the big one for this episode and later, towards the end of this. But it's just crazy. One moment you're probably getting off work, and you're coming home on the train, like, all right, long day, get home, have dinner, and then kind of do it over to get viciously attacked by this young gentleman, and then it's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So let's get into another wild story. This one's a big story for me because it's one of the reasons I truly agree with this statement. So, and this one you might have you and me might have different opinions on this. So this might be an interesting discussion. So a woman is billed $700 after sitting in the ER waiting room for 7 hours, leaving without treatment.
I actually had a very similar story when I first started at work there. So.
Oh, okay. So a woman said that she was billed for a trip to the emergency room, even though she didn't receive any treatment. Taylor Davis said that she went to the hospital in July for a head injury, like people do, right? She sat in the waiting room for hours, but was with no end in sight. She decided to leave. It has been pretty hard to see people in the hospital because of all this craziness happening, right? Okay, a quote: "I sat there for 7 hours. There was no way I should be sitting in an emergency room for 7 hours," she said. End quote. A couple of weeks later, a surprise came in her mailbox. It was a bill for nearly $700. Quote: I didn't get my vitals taken. Nobody called my name. I wasn't seen at all," Davis said. End quote. Davis said that she was convinced it was a mistake, so she called them and said that the hospital protocol, even if you're just walking in, you're not seen. When when you type in your social, that's it. You're going to get charged regardless. End quote. She said that she was told it was an emergency room visit fee or a facility fee, as it is called at some cases. It is often added to a person's total hospital bill, so it might not be as noticeable as it is in this case. An email sent to Davis by the hospital patient financial services employee stated, "You get charged before you're even seen, not for being seen." David says, unfortunately, she thinks she'll think twice before stepping into an ER now that she knows what she can potentially be charged with. I'm very relevant to go to the hospital now. That's the kind of like the last resort now. Seeing that they're able to bill you for random things, it doesn't make me want to go. That's not good, David said. We'll read the statement afterwards. So I've known this little things, like I know, like you probably know a little bit more about hospital stuff, but probably not about the financial stuff because that's not your department, right?
Yep, not my department.
But there is a few things I do know that they do like exorbitantly charge you on certain things, like some of the stuff that is around you, some of the treatments, stuff like that. This is why you should always ask for an itemized statement from a hospital. It will reduce your bill, surprisingly, actually.
I did not know that. Good to know.
You didn't know that? Yeah, you can. If they have to list everything that they like since they do charge you for like even the towels in the room, apparently.
What?
You work for a hospital and you did not know that?
No, because I don't. Again, I'm not in that department. Like, I don't focus on that little shit.
So if you like used one of the towels in there, they will charge you X amount of money. So if you sometimes they just like if you never use that towel
that used for the next patient, they just rewash it and use it again. Like
exactly. So they're like, here's $150 towel they use. But yeah, if you get an itemized statement, it does slightly reduce it by at least sometimes up to 20% of that. And 20% of a $20,000 hospital fee, that's a lot of money. But that's besides the point. Like, just going back to this incident, right? This is one of the few instances this is one of the reasons I don't go to the hospitals. Like, it's just, overall, there's like a huge topic, like, going to the hospital is expensive, even if you do have insurance. If you don't, then you're really fucked.
Yeah. Well, and that's what my sister-in-law used to work up in the ED, up in another hospital of the same association. And she said, I don't know why people don't go to urgent care. Well, recently, I just had this discussion with a patient who said, I called, I was talking to them about, urgent cares and how one of my mutual friends was trying to book for an urgent care and they didn't have like a specific time or like time to, dial it in. And you get to the point where they just don't have appointments and you go, well, kind of need urgent care right now, but urgent care is not open and I need to see. This is a more serious infection that I have. And they wind up going to the ERs. And then we're seeing a huge influx of people who said, I was at urgent care. They told me to come here.
Yeah, it's just like one step to another. And
yeah, and it's stupid. Yeah, it's just stupid. I get it. I mean, but I had a patient, right as I started, when I started in the ED 6 months after I've been hired there, they were saying, oh, I remember when these rooms were just not solid rooms. They were individual curtains, and I was charged because I was never seen. I was there for 4 hours, and I got that bill moved because I wasn't seen or taken care of. And so I was like, I don't know why she's not fighting this, honestly, to tell you. So,
she is. She probably is. Yeah, because this is dumb. There is no reason you should be billed just for waiting. Like, I understand there's a thing, but 7 hours, if you're not treated at least within, I would say the minimum I would be like, is like 2 hours. 2 to 3 hours. Mostly for what she said, some head injury. Like that seems pretty hard.
But you know what that stupid part is? I'm going to tell you this. I do because of my
Ooh,
sister-in-law.
bad.
Says we have to take precedence to people coming in through the ambulances.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
That could be for somebody with an ingrown toenail.
That's fucking stupid too.
Yep. And my sister-in-law just rolls her eyes. And at the time, she no longer works at the same facility association, but she's she comes up with these stories, and it's like, yeah, it's like they came in with ingrown toenails. The person who has chest pain that's sitting in the waiting room has to be, like, even though they're up to the front of the line, the person who came with the ingrown toenail has to be looked first. That's stupid as fuck.
And that's another topic, how expensive it is just to go to the emergency rooms. It's so much cheaper just to Uber. It's so much, just like either drive yourself or Uber. It's so much cheaper than an ambulance.
Unless you're automatically actually having a freaking heart attack and...
Nah, it's still cheaper. It's still fucking cheaper. Like,
no, it's not.
It is for me. It is for me.
You got nitro splash there, bro?
I'll get myself. If the cops say, like, I'm having a heart attack, don't call the ambulance unless you want to just get me there. Get me to the hospital. Give me
aspirin. Call it good.
Just I'll follow you. Just go. Take me. I'll follow you. It's not that far from me for the hospital. But yeah, it is fucking stupid about that. This is the thing. Like, maybe if it wasn't like $100 an hour, I would like that. Like, what is the most reasonable cost? Like, I'm trying to play devil's advocate a little bit here. What is a reasonable cost per hour? I'm trying to think. For being just waiting in the waiting room.
No, it's nothing because your vitals are not taken.
So nothing. You shouldn't if you're not. If
anything, I think $100 for walking in and just being there. Maybe that's more reasonable because you're
a flat $100. A flat $100.
Yeah, not a couple hundred. I'm just saying $100 flat. I mean that's
what I mean. A flat 100, like a flat 100. Like you're in, you're waiting. That's your flat 100 rate, just for waiting. Yeah, I see that. I think so. Yeah, I think that's fine. I would say that's fine. If I leave within like an hour, that's my own fault. If I couldn't wait 2-3 hours, 4 hours at max, because that's still $25 an hour. Yeah, I think your idea for a flat $100 fee, I find that acceptable for waiting.
I mean, technically, when anybody comes in, they have to be triaged. So we get their name, their, everything. They get in the check-in, they get all their benefits in there. Then they get triaged and say, okay, what's your blood pressure? What are the symptoms? So there's a nurse that's already like kind of getting the idea of who they are, their vitals, before they go sit in the waiting room. So sometimes they go sit back out in the car. They're like, why sit out here in here with everybody? I don't know these people. They're all sick. I don't know what they have. Walk back outside. Call me when you guys have a spot for me. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah. I think let's go with the $100 flat. Let's go with. I think that we can both agree on that, right?
Okay.
So let's move on.
And then do you want to read the Emory's?
Oh yeah. Oh, I closed that article. Can you read it?
Yes. Emory Healthcare takes all patient concerns seriously, and this has been brought to our attention. Our teams are currently looking into this matter, and will follow up directly with the individual. So they messed up. They messed up.
Here's the thing: they've probably been doing this for a long time, and this is the first time they get called out on social media. Social media just goes on crazy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is one of those moments where like, ooh, we got caught, and what are we gonna do? Okay, we got to put out some generic statement to kind of get out of this hot water.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go to the hospital because the lady's like, why go to that hospital? I can go down the road. And they will probably I might wait the 8 hours. My baby's seen by them. But I won't be fucking charged. I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's get into one more story before we get into the big story.
Okay.
So is there one that you want to do specifically?
I'm looking. So much shit going on.
Choose something fun because the big story is the heavy story.
Fun. I don't know what's fun. We posted depressing stuff.
There's some funny ones in there.
Oh, excuse me. I do like this one, the brain implant. Insights, paralyzed man's thoughts, text.
This is, yes. Let's go with that.
Sounds cool.
So, a brain implant translates paralyzed man's thoughts into text with 94% accuracy. That is crazy, actually.
It is crazy.
It's one of those things that we're getting closer and closer to this weird, like, cyborg level tech. Because now, we do have prosthetics and stuff like that, but we're getting to the point where we're getting tech to get fully integrated into the brain. It's still early, right? It's still early. There's been other tech that lets people see, like actually see, tech that lets people hear. I don't know if this.
We're close. That's almost similar to that famous scientist that died. Who was almost literally confined to his wheelchair. Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
The way to communicate with the world. So I think we're close in that aspect because especially all those people who have been, that can't communicate. This is a great way for them. An opportunity.
It's getting closer and closer to finally be able to fully communicate. Not fully. It's going to be a while still. Probably another decade, two decades or something. Because if Mark Zuckerberg has anything to with the new metaverse coming up, people are just going to be able to talk VR wise, and that'll be cool. Imagine having a conversation with someone who's been paralyzed and hasn't talked, like virtually.
That'd be awesome.
Like
they can see themselves
like for
as
them,
a whole human being, not just a.
Yeah, like for them, that's the first time in a long time that they've been able to move, because whatever that chip at that point, or whatever tool is helping them basically be in the metaverse and let them be an average person in this digital world. Mm-hmm. I know you yourself has mentioned before in previous episodes that you're not into the metaverse or anything in that. But for people who are paralyzed like this, that is their chance to be normal and to explore the world and just have like an average everyday conversation with a person. That is crazy to think that we are getting closer and closer to that.
Yeah, that might be beneficial for them, like me. So, I don't think it's beneficial to me because I talk to most everybody that I want to talk to.
What if everyone just wants to talk in the metaverse, though? Like that's your hangout spot.
We're back into AOL chat rooms again.
Yeah, but virtually. But virtually, you get to come to my virtual house, like with my virtual mansion. We hang out there. That's gonna be the thing. That is the thing. That's gonna be the thing in the next 25 years. It is a thing right now, but not as advanced. But with Facebook taking, or Meta now, the new company name, with Meta taking the lead in some of this stuff, they do have the infrastructure to make it a reality in probably the next 5 to 10 years. Unless they do something, I don't think that's gonna get me to go back onto like Facebook or whatever. But if it's something grand, I might go back and be on that social media. But it has to be something amazing, because there's almost nothing that will get me besides the metaverse to get me to go back on Facebook. That, or you handle most of the Facebook podcast stuff. So but yeah, let's continue with what this chip does. So basically, it's a lot to read, but basically what the chip does, it registers in the person's mind, kind of when you write something, you kind of visualize what you're writing, right? Like if you're writing an A, you write the circle and the dash, right? Mm-hmm. Or C, you kind of make a curve. So what this chip does is it kind of reads what your mind is trying to write, because there are so basically it just makes it like, oh, you're writing a word, so it makes it's not like you're thinking a word, you're like writing a word in your head. So it's still early, but yeah, so it sucks if you can't spell.
True, but then they say it has a 99% accuracy with autocorrect enabled.
Ah, nice. But it is, I guess it is a great step. Just looking at, because right now they're using like the traditional like 26 karat alphabet, but it is just I wonder how I kind of want to do it. I want to see how my brain thinks when I write. Right, that's kind of interesting.
I just put the chip in there just to see how your brain looks at it.
Yeah, because for someone who's never like written, like remember when you were young and you had to do handwriting classes, basically. Is there another name for handwriting classes?
Cursive?
People don't do cursive anymore. Did you know that?
I know.
Cursive is
I
not
got
a
my kid on that one because I write sometimes in cursive. And she goes, "What are you writing?" I'm like, "What do you think the letters say?"
Like I don't know. I'm like you're gibberish.
But a lot of documents are still in handwriting. That's a lot of what our great grandfathers are still writing. It was in cursive.
True. Yeah, I don't know why they took cursive out of like the curriculum in some places, not all places.
They did that with my daughter. I'm still.
Because in all honesty, I think even now some people don't even sign their name in cursive. They just sign by print now.
Yeah, it's funny because it'd be like print your name and then
sign
it, the signature of your thing. It'd be like the same thing. It'd be like
print,
last week didn't say pretty.
So, I'm trying to think.
I would like to know more, like, because cursive and how you write things tells you what kind of personality you are. So one thing I would like to know from another person's perspective. What am I from all my writing? Who am I as a person?
Is that really true? I didn't.
Yeah, that's why they do when a lot of psychologists and it's basically forensic handwriting. They basically can tell psychologically who you are as a person. Like if you're going to be a criminal mastermind later down in your life, it's kind of all written in your way you write things.
I wonder if
that's how they say that when they research on people who have committed murders, like some of the famous homicidal men out there, they say how that looks like, oh yes, their childhood was pretty bad. Like literally you could tell the way they write or they're very maniacal, or they're very diabolical from the way they write certain letters and how the certain slants. It's really interesting. I've always thought it was pretty cool. That's something I would have wished I've gone into.
That is a very interesting study. I wonder what it means when you don't write cursive, like you just don't write it at all. But that's a topic for another day.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's sidetrack.
That's normal. This is the Convoluted podcast for sure. But it is interesting to note that, yeah, it is true. Some writing, depending on so hopefully you don't have the writings of a madman. Like, oh, I'm just a shitty. Because some people don't even have good penmanship. There it is. Penmanship.
Oh, no kidding! Class. Like doctors.
Penmanship class. That's what I'm saying. Because there's what is it? It's shorthand. Some people write stuff in shorthand, right? And at first, I'm
guilty of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, I remember I was pretty prevalent with shorthand back in early high school, but then when I went to try to read notes again, now it's I have no idea what I wrote. I knew at that time I did, but now I don't.
Actually, I want to go back through all my college notes. I can still figure out most of what I said in my shorthand.
Shorthand. Oh, nice. But just some penmanship, you just need to be able to write. Just normal write, people. I don't care if you don't learn cursive. Just proper penmanship helps a lot. I know everything's digital nowadays, but it doesn't hurt to.
I know. I think that's what's screwing up a lot of it. It's
I think that might be true.
Taking away from things.
Yeah, because now you can just spell check or just type anything out, or even now you don't even have to spell stuff correctly because you can just abbreviate stuff like LOL or BRB. You don't have to even write be right back.
Who does BRB anymore? We don't even do that. We're not in chat rooms anymore.
People do that.
TGYL.
Talk to you later. Yeah. People just you don't even have to write stuff, or it has changed. These last couple of years have changed the way people communicate for sure, and the way things are. And I think it's being more prevalent in how things are written too online. Anything else you want to say about these topics before we get into the final story, the big one?
No, I don't think so. But I think it'll be awesome with people who are unable to, communicate properly, be able to express, Maybe we could
Okay.
even put it on people who are vegetables, and maybe we can figure out where they are in the brain.
Okay.
I'm just curious,
True. Yep. Okay. Let's get into the big story of these past 2 weeks. Now, the time of this recording, it's been a while now. It's been a little bit about a week and a half, about weeks. I'm gonna say about a week now at the time of this recording that this incident happened. So I'm gonna start out by saying hope best wishes and prayers to the families of the victims from the Astro World incident.
Yeah, I have not know anything about this. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you know nothing about this? Oh my God, you're about to get a crash course. So you'll be the listener basically. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna just do a brief. I know there's a lot more to it, so I'm gonna just do a brief what happened. So let's see, when did this happen? I have 4 articles. I want to be sure.
No, you have. I saw the 4 articles. I'm like, this must be big.
Yeah.
Friday, November 5th.
Yes, Friday, November 5th. So Friday, November 5th, Travis Scott was doing his big Astro World concert down in Austin, I think. Houston, Texas. Yeah, there it is, Houston. Yeah. And for the most part, when was the last time you went to a music concert, stuff like that?
God, before I had Ursula. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, wow, that's a while ago.
Yep.
So, and I'm guessing you didn't go to more heavy concerts either, ones where a lot of jumping, pushing, all that kind of rave moshing kind of.
Well, because the band I went to see at the time, I believe it was No Doubt and Blink-182.
So more of a kind of a chill listening vibe.
Yes.
Okay. So I remember the last time I went to a big metal concert with a buddy of ours, and it was one of I think it was I think at this point I've been to enough concerts that I can count them on both my hands, because I'm not a big into outings for the most part, but I do enjoy the experience of these things. And luckily for me, with one of the first 5 concerts I've been to, half of them have been metal concerts, so you get the rowdiness and stuff like that. So I kind of understand some of the things that was happening at this event, this incident. So, anyways, talking about the Astro World incident. So what ended up happening was during the Travis Scott's set, during his thing, people were getting overly rambunctious, really trying. It's this point where you're trying to reach out to the artist, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're in the front, cool, you're almost touching the artist, but if you're in the back, you're trying to just get closer and closer, right? Mm-hmm. And it just got out of control to the point where eight people lost their lives because of the asphyxiation. Basically, it's body crushing, because people were just pushing each other. And when everything was kind of once things were trying not to settle down, because things got a little escalated once people were dying, right? People started panicking, stuff like that. People over 300 people were injured. There's an article where a paramedic got stabbed with a needle and had to get I forget the drug to deal with overdose. We'll get into that story too.
It's Narcan.
Narcan.
I know that one.
Okay. But yeah, it's one of those things that also could have been slightly prevented, because of what's kind of been the big hot topic of this issue. Is yes, people have lost their lives, but it's the thing that people have been talking about is that during the entire time Travis Scott was doing his set, he never officially stopped the performance. There are times where he slowed down, but he never stopped his performance to let these ambulance paramedics kind of deal with any of these things. It just kind of kept going. So that's kind of a brief thing what happened. We can get a little bit deeper into that. But what are your thoughts just hearing that?
Well, he continued the show like an idiot. He should have stopped. I mean, this is important. Yeah, I'm sad that there's a lot of people who are injured in this. I guess it was a 10-year-old too involved, which
we can get into like the who perished and stuff in a little bit. No name. We won't mention names. We'll just kind of mention ages.
Yeah.
So ages wise, there was there's two 20-year-olds, a 21-year-olds, a 20-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 27-year-old. I think that's so. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
what
6.
also surprises me is like where were the security guards? Why weren't they helping in this whole fiasco? Like, yeah.
There was staff there. There was a lot. It was just too crazy. Because if you actually, the craziness actually start here. We'll get a little. Okay, now we'll start continuing. So apparently the craziness even started before the actual concert started, because you know how when they let people in and stuff into the venue and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even during that, people were like running into the venue, just running, not just casually walking, like pushing each other into the venue. Like
Wow.
it was like they were just getting the last bit of food, and in the apocalypse, people were just rushing. Even then, it was just wild already, and that's before even the concert started. It was just crazy. If you look at a photo of how packed this place was, it's like probably over like 3,000-4,000 people there, and I watched a lot of because it's. People have phones now. People like were posting TikToks and Instagram stories and everything. You get to see a lot. Like I watched probably a good solid, I'm gonna say 3 hours worth of videos of people trying to ask for like Travis Scott to stop the concert, trying to get other people like security, and trying to get camera people to stop, or like, hey, people are dying and stuff. Like there's a couple videos where you actually see people like crowd surf the dead bodies to get them to get help. It's bad. It's bad. I will not be posting any videos like that because that is disrespectful. But it's good to have that like that evidence, like, hey, people weren't dying. Like, it's crazy. Like, well, because you go to these things to go and have fun and to go see your favorite artist, right? Like these people like woke up that morning saying like, oh yes, I waited like so many weeks to go see this concert, to they are no longer with us, you know. And
it's sad. Oh yeah, sad.
It is very sad.
Some of this articles, and wow. No.
And we're just talking about like the initial 24 hours. We haven't. There's more to the story now. What we're talking about, what you and me discussing, is only what I've talked to you that happened within the first 24 hours. Because there's been a lot more now that is happening. So if you want to continue with that now. But do you have any thoughts at the moment within what I've talked to you that's happened within the first 24 hours? What are your thoughts at the moment?
I feel sorry for these families to go through a tragedy, and some of them are so young. And I was looking at some of these ages, and wow, you're trying to go there to support your artists and enjoy your time with your artists, and it becomes really chaos. Like, I don't know, there was no sense of control. It was just people just guess being stupid people too, because they eventually help create that loss for these people too. So yeah, wow.
Okay. Continuing to what happened like a little bit afterwards, like now we're talking about past 24 hours, probably the next 48, 72 hours. Social media took a crazy hit on Travis Scott for, like, they put a lot of pressure, not only on him, but like the venues, the production company, everything that's involved, because this is one of the few things that it's preventable, but like people will probably still get hurt, right? But there's no reason for loss of life. That's what I want to say. Loss of life should not be something that should be accounted for these like venues. Like when you're having like this weird like strategy meeting, like like chances of people getting hurt, okay, there's probably going to be a dozen or two, right? Because it's a crazy concept, but loss of life should not be accounted for this. I think right now what's happening is people are trying to figure out who's at fault, right? In your opinion, who are the ones that should be at fault for this incident?
And the artists on the stage, because they were seeing it and voting, and yet they did nothing about it. And
Just them?
Well, like I said, the people who own the building. I don't know where it is in Houston.
You can just say the organizer. Yeah. There's a lot of people who should be held accountable. At the moment, there's a lot of people doing a lot of not like suing, but I forget what it's called when you sue someone. Filing a
lawsuit.
Yeah, lawsuit. I don't know why that word didn't come to me. But there's a lot of lawsuits being filed right now against the venue, against Travis Scott, and on Drake too, who was performing with him that day too. Wow. There's a lot of lawsuits happening right now. And at this timeline, Travis Scott actually put out a apology video. In my opinion, not the best apology video, because it doesn't. I don't think if you watch the video, you don't have to watch the video, because I don't think he actually apologized in the video at all.
You don't think he actually said the words "I'm sorry" or I apologize for this happening?
No. Yeah.
Terrible.
It's a very, 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 very. It's almost like a corporate apology mixed in. Like there is some. They're not really like that, but it feels like it a little bit.
Okay.
You can watch it later, but it's not. Yeah, it's like no, it's not a good apology video, and he still got a lot of backlash from that too. It's one of those things that it's a big story right now. There's a lot of things being held because this is not something that shouldn't, because there's been other times where things get things get rowdy at concerts like this. People are just having fun. Someone probably gets hit, or there's a lot. But there are times when I went to the concert I went to was a little way smaller than this. But if someone is is hurt or falls down during these things, so they don't get trampled, people around them will stop and pick you up. There's been times when I had to pick someone up off the floor, you're gonna get crushed. Here, give me your hand. And there are times when there are video evidence of other times where artists stopped their set because of something happened.
That's where the smart thing for them, they're acknowledging and recognizing it. Hold up, we gotta stop this. We gotta calm this down, before it escalates. And he didn't. And I guess what it sounds like, he didn't stop. He didn't bother to even stop the set.
So here's a good example too. There's a good example of where he says if he would have noticed something, he would have stopped. There's a video, like I said, I watched a lot of video of this concert, from different angles. This is where the different angles helps a lot, where they're carrying a person's body to an ambulance cart that is trying to make its way into the crowd. It's so packed that it's hard to get the ambulance golf cart, whatever it was, into it, right? That they have to crowd surf the body. And Travis Scott's just looking at it and then kind of humming a little bit and then continues with his set. And you don't notice anything? What? And it just continues from there. And it's and it's one of those things this is where a lot of people are talking about who's held accountable and everything. It's a hot mess right now. It is a hot mess, and everyone has their eyes on what's going to be happening with it, because it's truly unacceptable what happened at this concert. A concert is supposed to be you to go have fun with for yourself, and probably with the friends and you go with, to just go see your favorite artists, and you should not worry about your life at least. Like maybe you'll get like bumped and hit maybe, but your life should not be on the line to go see your favorite artist.
Yeah, shouldn't, should be doing it for enjoyment and enjoying to support the artist and fun and, wow, crazy.
Yeah. So if we ever do a live show, guys, don't worry, there won't be any like possible stabbings. I can't guarantee that, but we'll do our best to make sure that your life is
Be stabbing laughter.
Yeah, it is crazy. Do you have any like final statements or any thoughts about kind of the incidents? Yes, there's more stuff coming out, but that's kind of what's happening right now with what's happened within a week.
My condolences to the family out there. I mean, that's sad, and I hope those who are survivors, I feel for them. They're my thoughts and prayers, and the best to them all. I mean, just makes me teary-eyed thinking about it.
True.
Yeah. What about you?
No, that's kind of really. I already kind of talked for a good chunk of time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things to say, but for the most part, I'm just going to keep my eye on this story. We probably won't bring it up unless something more prevalent comes out, more like specific evidence. But for now, it is a tragedy, and my condolences as well to the family. And I hope everyone who has been was injured is doing better now. But yeah, it's horrible. And this is also, that's kind of really it. So everyone, we're just going to end it there. It's a little sadder note, but it is one of those things where it's it's a crazy story, which you never should ever expect to happen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's kind of end it there then. All right.
Thank you guys. Support our merch.tyrant.com. My Tyrant.
Yeah, merch.tyrant.dominus.com.
And to 10% off pod10, POD10. And
links will be in the description.
Thank you guys for listening.
Also, if you want to leave us a message for the 100th episode, that's going to be in the link below as well. Yeah, we'll see. We'll look forward to episode 100. It's going to be a blast.